It's Mark here for Dalton Drone and Discovery Zone. Today we're in our hometown of Downingtown. Didn't have to travel too far to get here. If you look over my shoulder, hopefully you can see it kind of directly into the sun, but you might know where I am here. I did a video on this trestle bridge a couple years back with the drone. But today we're going to be heading down the Brandywine Trail. We're in the Harmony Hill area here. There are some really cool ruins down here, so we're going to check them out. I think it's about 3/4 of a mile or so of a bit of a walk here, so we'll get on the trail here. You probably can hear the noisy Route 322 right behind me. Really pretty area down here. Some history here too. Part of this trail actually is where there was a trolley. A trolley line ran here from Westchester to Downingtown. I believe it was from 1902 to 1929. And part of this trail actually follows the actual trolley line. Of course, those tracks were torn up a long time ago. There are areas on the trail here, I'm not sure we're going to go down that far, where you can actually see cuts in the rock, and those areas are where you're actually on the original trolley line. Off to our left, you can't see it right now. It's all woods here, but that's the Brandywine Creek. Beautiful afternoon. I think we have highs in the around 82 or so, 85 perhaps at most today. No humidity. You don't get too many days like this in the middle of summer here in Pennsylvania. We'll take advantage of it. We were on the trail here, my wife and I, my son, a couple of weeks back, and there's a bunch of little baby rabbits all along the trail here. We'll see if we can catch a couple of those on video. I was out here on the e-bike yesterday, checking out the trail. Went the entire length of it. I think it's about 2-3 miles. I did check out these ruins up here to see whether they'd be interesting enough, and they are. What's also very interesting is we have a lot of information about these ruins, courtesy of the Downingtown Historical Society, so we'll talk about that once we get there. It's not often that you find ruins and you have the history of it, the family that lived there at one time, but we do. We even have some pictures. Okay, now this road here, as you can see, where it enters on the 322 there, this would have been the original driveway going up to the ruins that we're headed toward. There was a bridge that's since been rebuilt. Another trail off to my left there. for mountain bikers and hikers. We're crossing over the mighty Brandywine Creek. It's nice and clear. Pretty deep right there. Well, not real deep. Maybe about 2-3 feet. Now the main trail goes to the right, but we're going to be heading up to the left there. Originally this driveway would have scooted right up there. Maybe made a little bit of a left turn here. As you can see, the trail continues on that way. Let's go take a look at these ruins here. They're actually pretty cool. Now, as we come up here, we can start to see some concrete here in the ground. Maybe this was part of the original driveway right here, this raised portion right here. This is some sort of, it looks like a pavement. Now, off to our left, I understand, is where the main house was. So let's take a left here. And there we are. You can see there's a pillar over there. Probably a pillar for the porch, perhaps. Now, from what I understand, this place was a farm at one time. Let's bring in our announcer to tell us about it.
Well, thank you, Johnny. These ruins were the home and barn on the farm of William and Persis Eades. The Eades purchased the 309-acre farm from Benjamin Lippincott in 1927. The year after they were married, it was the second marriage for both. Eades is called the farm Anglomere. The home and barn were probably constructed in the late 1800s. In addition to the home and barn, there were several other smaller houses and outbuildings on Anglomere. William Eades was born in England in 1895 and was a British veteran of the First World War. He came to America in 1925 with his daughter Emily, who was born in 1922, from his previous marriage. Eades married Persis Burnham Furbush in 1926. She was the widow of Charles Lincoln Furbush, the former director of Philadelphia's Department of Public Health, with whom she had a daughter named Lydia. Persis was also the granddaughter of George Burnham, the former president of the Baldwin Locomotive Works, and the daughter of William Burnham, former president of the Standard Steel Works. Persis died at Anglomere in 1946. William remarried in 1948 to Honora Gannot, and they lived on the farm until 1953 when they sold it to the East Colne Realty Company. Nature gradually took over the farm and the main house burned down sometime in the late 1950s. After selling Anglomere, William and Honora spent the winter months in Florida and summered in Bar Harbor, Maine. William and Persis also summered in Bar Harbor, but lived most of the year when they weren't traveling at Anglomere. Honora Eades died in Florida in 1962, and William Eades died at Bar Harbor in 1970.
Well, thank you, announcer.
You're welcome, Johnny.
Now, over here, we can see the spring house. That's interesting there, whatever that is. Some kind of a concrete base of some type there. But back up there would be the remains of the spring house. You can see the little stream coming down here. Can't get up in there because it's just too overgrown. So you got the house on the right, you got the greenhouse up here, or the spring house up here. And let's head up toward where the barn used to be. You can see bricks here. Look at the red bricks. This might have been part of the main house here, this debris I see here. There's more bricks and some insulation here. Again, here's this culvert type thing running along here. Concrete pavement type thing. And you have something here, looks like plastic embedded in the ground here. Okay, here's the back side of the house now. You can see I see a wall here. It's hard to fathom how large this house was. But from what I understand, it was fairly large. It's hard to see it, you know, with all the trees growing here and the weeds and all, but it was fairly large. I know they had talked about expanding it and making it much larger, but then the crash of 1929 occurred and that put the kibosh on that, so it never got expanded and ultimately ended up like this. And this would be the barn. Pretty impressive ruins. Wow. I've seen this before, but I still say wow. Look at that. We have a wall over here of some type. I'm not sure if that was just a wall or somehow a connection to the barn. But let's go up in here. They put a nice little bench here so you can sit and rest. Very cool ruins. Wall's pretty high, you can see here. Look at that. That wall's got to be about 10 feet high to maybe 15 feet high, somewhere in that range. Nice piece of brickwork here, laying here. Now this whole area would have been a farm. We had cows back down near the bridge where we crossed. Up in the, I believe it was the northeast portion of it, they had crop. Now this Eades was was pretty much a part of the social elite here on the main line, which is an area here outside of Philadelphia, which contains a lot of beautiful houses and mansions and say maybe the upper crust of the area, possibly, if you want to call it that. So, understanding that, he was probably more of a gentleman farmer who lived here and just used hired help to keep his animals and harvest a crop, perhaps. Look at these walls. Boy, I tell you, doesn't seem like it would take much to bring some of these rocks down here. We can see some wood here. This might have been where the floor joist was at one time. Really cool rock work. And this was definitely an opening right here. You can see that. It's got sort of like a reverse arch, if you want to call it that. Wow, even some of the concrete is still here. Look at that. We have sort of an opening here. I don't know what that was. We have like a ledge here, so that might have been something. Not sure what. Look how thick these walls are. You can take a look in there. Again, you can see the concrete mortar here. A lot of this wall's in better shape, at least the lower portion is anyway. And we see what looks like an embedded hook here. I wonder if this was maybe a door hinge, perhaps. Let's see if we can go topside here and get a overview of the entire area from above. So we have rock over here. This must have been from the barn, the actual walls that have fallen in. They've just piled the rock over here. Not sure what all this looks like cut timber of some type. You can see that pillar right there. It looks like one of the supports for like a roof that overhung the structure. And then we have some rock walkway here. This is the wall. I'm not really sure how this figures into it. You can see it's smooth on the top, so it's finished on the top. So I'm not quite sure how that would have figured into a structure other than maybe just being a wall. We see more rock work back here. This is buried under the wood, but you see some rocks there. This looks likely part of the structure, if I could talk. Let's take a look up here from above. Some pieces of wood here, notice that's part of the walkway. It might have been part of the barn. Got to come here in the winter time, or at least late fall, and have a look at this area again. There's probably a lot more to see, which is right now it's all covered with weeds. Let's climb these stairs here. There's some more rocks there, again, probably from the structure. More rocks piled here. Let's take a look here. Now there's a view. Look at that. I'm glad the township takes measures to keep these ruins here and sort of shore them up to make sure that they kind of stand the test of time, or what's left of them. It's very cool to see this. Folks, it's okay if you're, you bagged up the poop, but let's also remove it from the trail. It's nobody's responsibility but yours. Just want to put that out there. I've seen a couple of these plastic bags here. The Park Service, if you want to call it that, see, that's actually a nature area, not even a park. But there's nobody comes around and is supposed to pick up your dog poop. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this video. We're losing our light here, so I got to get back. Take care, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video. Ugh. I'll find the trash can.